What's up, guys? I'm Mike Thomas, and today we're going to bring you the top 10 games that define 2020. And yeah, it's been a bad year, but for gaming, well, it's been pretty good. Coming in at number 10 is Final Fantasy VII, the remake. In many ways, 2020 was the year that had us looking back at the good old days when things were a lot less complicated and you didn't need to wear a mask to go pick up a soda and chips. Now, there were a lot of remakes and remasters released in 2020, but the best of them of all has got to be Final Fantasy VII, the remake. A game that took us all on a trip down memory lane while at the same time refreshing its original concepts for a modern audience. It was a blast seeing Cloud and the gang again in 2020, and we can't wait to see what twists and turns their tale will take next. Coming in at number 9, we have The Legend of Genshin Impact. Remember when this game was first announced and some guy smashed up his PS4 because he was mad, I guess? Well, I'm sure he's feeling kind of silly now because it's how well Genshin Impact really turned out to be. It really ended up to be a good take on an action-adventure genre, but pretty good isn't enough to make this list. So why is Genshin Impact one of the games that will define 2020? Well, because here's a title that everyone thought would turn out bad or uninspired and released just to prove everyone wrong. And if 2020 has taught us anything, is that we can all rise above some adversity, even if it does look exactly like Legend of Zelda. Coming in at number 8 is Marvel's Avengers. Do you remember how you felt in December of 2019? Yeah, I do. I was so full of hope for 2020. Everyone was excited for it, ready to take on a bunch of new projects that would really take being me to the next level. And while this year wasn't a total wash, it was nonetheless very disappointing as far as some of my personal goals went. And that's how I feel about Marvel's Avengers, a game that had tons of promise only to come out and be, pretty disappointing. And that's exactly how I feel about 2020. Disappointed. Coming in at number 7, we got Microsoft Flight Simulator. You know what I miss? Traveling. Being able to go out on adventures, both big and small, is something that I think many of us took for granted as we spent large parts of our year indoors. Then came Microsoft Flight Simulator, a game all about exploring the world on your own leisure from a perspective that you typically only get with a plane ticket. Shoot, even then you don't get to see it front row like they do. This game represents the freedom we are all missing now, and hopefully, we get to experience again. Coming in at number 6, Demon's Souls. This year was all about overcoming massive challenges, and I can't think of any game more in line with this concept as Demon's Souls, the remake of the PS3 game. Here's a game that will throw challenge after challenge at you. Challenges that at first may seem insurmountable, but can be conquered with patience and perseverance. It's tough, it's brutal, and it can definitely feel unfair, but if you can overcome the challenges in Demon's Souls, you can overcome anything. Anything, promise you. I'm just kidding, don't hold me to that. At number 5, we got Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Another thing that we miss in 2020 is getting together with friends for parties and hangouts. This made party-style games all the more important this year, especially those with easy-to-use online features and simple, addicting gameplay. Enter Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, a party game that ticks all of those boxes and then some to deliver a game that you and your friends can enjoy while staying safely apart. The best part? Fall Guys is continuing to grow with new content. Costumes are being regularly added, ensuring that the party isn't ending anytime soon. And thankfully, they fixed what they needed to at the beginning to make sure that you can actually get into a lobby this time. Thanks, guys. Coming in at number 4 is The Last of Us Part 2. It should go without saying that 2020 was a tough year for many. It could be dark, gritty, lonely, and depressing at times, so the release of The Last of Us Part 2 was a bit of perfect timing. Here's a game that presents an imperfect world filled with imperfect characters that honestly don't come out of it all with everything they want. While there are definitely some silver linings to 2020, it will be long remembered as rather a dark year, and The Last of Us Part 2 leans into that well. A great game for a horrible year. Coming in at number 3 is Among Us. One of the unfortunate truths of living through 2020 is navigating the minefield of misinformation and fake news. God, I can't believe I just said that. That seems to dominate social media. But while it's always good to be informed, Inner Sloth managed to turn suspicion and deception into a really fun video game. Among Us actually originally released back in the much more calm and relaxed year of 2018. but really we all know this is a 2020 game through and through. Definitely not sus at all. And you know what? If you have ruined any friendships because of this game, maybe give those guys a call. New year, new you. Coming in at number 2, we have Animal Crossing New Horizons. Animal Crossing New Horizons was always going to be huge, but with the game releasing in 2020, especially right when it did in March, it became absolutely gargantuan. The warm, friendly, and welcoming shores of your island gave the feeling that New Horizons is anti-2020, a game all about relaxing with friends, playing little games, and just having a carefree time is exactly what many of us needed this year, especially in March. And the sales results speak for themselves as Animal Crossing New Horizons continues to smash through all expectations Nintendo and the gaming industry as a whole set for it. Finally, number 1. A game that most people were probably anticipating would be at least on this list and has been marketed and marketed and marketed and came out to be what it is, and that's Cyberpunk 2077, a dumpster fire. That term can be used basically to really describe 2020 and the current state of Cyberpunk 2077. A game that clearly launched far before near completion to meet deadlines and avoid further delays. The result is a game that has almost universally disappointed everybody who plays it, and marred the reputation of CD Projekt Red in itself too. But really, what is a better way to remember the year than with something that everyone was highly anticipating completely falling flat and letting us all down? I can't think of a better, worse way for this year to end. So here's to 2021.